Hi friends, welcome to WebChamp. In this video, I'm going to discuss storage technologies in Microsoft Fabric, that is Lakehouse and Warehouse. Okay. So as we know that Microsoft Fabric is all-in-one analytics solution platform that covers everything from data movement to data science, even real-time analytics and business intelligence also. So if your organization has data at a different sources. So what you can do, you can get the data into the cloud-based storage, that is Lakehouse or Warehouse. Okay. And this storage as a single storage, you can use for the analysis purpose, for the data engineering, for the data science, and everything. Right. So what is a data warehouse? So it is again unified single repository for storing large amount of structured data. You can gather the information from multiple sources into the single place. And obviously, before inserting a data into the warehouse, we will perform the data cleaning operation and all. Since it is a part of Microsoft Fabric that provides the unified experience for the data movement, analytics, business intelligence. So all these things you can do using the data from the warehouse. How you can connect with the data warehouse? Okay, so you can connect with the data warehouse by using BI tools or SQL clients or any other kind of analytics applications. Okay. So what is the benefits of data warehouse? So structure the data storage. So warehouse is always stores the structured data or and relational data, we can say. Here in the data warehouse, your data is typically organized in schemas and it supports efficient querying and reporting. So as the time being, we will start developing the applications in the Microsoft Fabric. So you will understood what does this mean by querying and reporting. Querying means just requesting a data. So you can request a data, but how? As a SQL server, you can request a data from warehouse. So there will you will get the connection string, and then by using connection string, you can write the SQL query, and the data will be in your bucket. So you can access the data in the BI tools or in any of the SQL client or any other kind of application. A data warehouse in a Microsoft Fabric is optimized for the performance, meaning if you are requesting for the large data set, it automatically scales the compute power to support the fast query performance on the large data set. Automatically it will scale. Okay, you need not to do anything. Even it has built-in security and governance. So Microsoft Purview is integrated with this warehouse. Even role-based accesses can be given to the warehouse so that uh, data can be securely kept in kept or in, we can say that securely managed in the organization. Seamless integration with the Power BI, it is very easy. If your data is in a warehouse, it is very easy for you to connect with the warehouse from the Power BI. You can directly connect. Obviously, once you connect with the warehouse, you can start building the reports. It provides the capabilities like Synapse. So Synapse has few terms like Azure Synapse Analytics, that including the scalability, compute optimization, parallel query execution. So all the things you can use with the warehouse. ETL workflows. So with integrated tool, Microsoft Fabric allows ETL. So in Fabric, that these features are available. Okay, you can create a data flows, you can create a pipeline to easily move the data from external sources into the warehouse. Then, while moving the data, you can transform and then prepare it for the analysis and store into the warehouse. Scalable and elastic. So based on the workload needs, as I said, Microsoft Fabric will scale the or change the compute power. As your data grows, Fabric automatically adjusts the compute resources, ensuring that performance remains consistent. Right. So this is the benefits of warehouse. So how warehouse work? So first we will connect with the sources, then perform the transformations, and then once your data is cleaned and in the structured format, then and then only we will insert the data. We will inject the data into the warehouse, and from warehouse we will access the data into the reporting, business intelligence, and then visualization tools. This is the a workflow of data warehousing. It has few disadvantages, that lack of data flexibility. So though data warehouse perform very well with the structured data, but still you can struggle with the semi-structured and unstructured data. Every time you will not get the data in the structured format. So in that case, warehouse is not a good choice. Then the cost to implement and maintain the warehouse is very high. These two are the disadvantages of data warehousing. Then there is something called data lake. Before going to the lake house, we should know what is data lake. The data lake is not in, this is not a part of Fabric, but this is in Azure. So before lake house comes into picture, or before lake house architecture gets developed, so we were using data lake in Azure to store the unstructured, semi-structured data, because work the warehouse is good for the structured data, but then how to handle, how to store, how to manage the unstructured or semi-structured data. So data lake, even data lake also it can be used to store the structured data also. So data lake is centralized, highly flexible storage repository that store the large amount of structured and unstructured data in its raw, in its original or unformatted form. Even data lakes are more flexible, durable, and cost effective, that enable organization to gain the advanced insights from unstructured data. That is not possible with the data warehouse. In data lake, schemas are never defined, or we can say that before, meaning before inserting a data, before storing the data into the lake, data lake, schemas are not defined. Schemas are defined when it is, when the data is captured. Okay, so meaning first we will store the data, and then we will perform the ETL operation. And again, once the data is cleaned, again we will go to the warehouse. We will store the data in the warehouse, right? Data lakes allows for the machine learning and predictive analysis using tools for the various types, from IoT devices, social media, and streaming. So these are the tools to analyze the data. There are certain benefits of data lake, data consolidation. You can store any type of data. Data flexibility, again, any format can be stored in data lake. Then cost saving. This is much cost effective as compared to data warehouse, and it supports a wide variety of data science and machine learning use cases. So this is how the data lake is good. Then what is the data lake house? Okay. Again, data lake has few disadvantages. That it is poor in performance for the business intelligence and data analytics use cases. Why? Because the data is not properly managed. Meaning, in case if the data is not properly managed in the data lake, it can be disordered, meaning disorganized. So it will create a problem. It will be a problematic to make the connection with the data from the tools. Even the lack of consistent data structures and acid means atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability in data. So this can't be. This is kind of a principle to have the good data. To we need to follow. Our database should follow this. So this is the disadvantages. Another disadvantage is lack of data reliability and security. Since data consistency make it difficult to enforce the data reliability and security. Why? Because it can store the all format data. It might be challenging to implement the proper data security and governance policies before or to cater to sensitive data types, because schema is already not defined. To overcome the disadvantages of whatever the disadvantages of warehouse we discussed, and then what are the disadvantages of data lake are overcome in lake house. So this is the structure. This is the workflow for the data lake, or we can say the delta lake. So it should be data lake. Okay. Delta lake is a different concept that comes in the lake house. So here directly data will be injected into the data lake. From there, the transformations will be processed, and then it can be used as needed. Okay. But in lake house, whatever the gap is there between the data lake, that is for the performance issue, and the data warehouse, it is difficult to manage the unstructured data. All these disadvantages are overcome in the data lakehouse. So in Microsoft Fabric, it is a unified data storage that fills the gap between data warehouse and data lakes, and it enables the modern data analytics at a scale. So data lakehouse usually start as a data lake. So the way we can store any type of data in the data lake. Similarly, you can store the data or any type of data in the lake house also. Then data is converted to the delta lake format. Okay. So if your data is in the unstructured format, semi-structured format, it can be stored in a structured format directly as inside the delta lake. Inside the delta lake. Delta lakes enable the ACID transactional process that we have saw atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability is nothing but ACID transactional process. Okay. From traditional data warehouse on the data lake. And Microsoft Fabric is fully integrated platform that allows organizations to store, manage, analyze, and collaborate on the large data sets. Your data could be structured, semi-structured, unstructured, but everything you can do in a single environment. That is nothing but Lakehouse. Again, it has benefits that unified storage. It combines the benefits of Delta, like flexibility, data warehouse performance. So Lakehouse is good in flexibility, storing the data in any kind of data. Even it is good in performance, like warehouse. It can store raw data, structured data in one platform. Direct integration, obviously, you can connect to the Power BI from the sorry, connect to the Lakehouse from the Power BI. Synapse capabilities are integrated. Then files and table storage. So once you create the Lakehouse, you can store the files, you can store the tables. Delta Lake integration, Fabric support Delta Lake. So a storage layer that brings ACID transaction and then scalable meta data management to the Lakehouse. It provides efficient file management and can be queried using Spark, SQL, and other tools. So using SQL or by Spark, you can query the data from the Lakehouse. Security and data governance is achieved with the help of Microsoft Purview. Even role-based accesses can be provided in an organization. Then collaborative in data science and engineering. So it supports collaboration between the data engineers, data scientists, and analysts. Users can access and manipulate the data in different ways using Spark, SQL, and other tools in unified interface. Okay, so this is about the Lakehouse. The terms are pretty much heavy if you are new to this concept, but yes. So how to choose what you have to use? So Microsoft Fabric provide two enterprise scales to store the data. Both are open standard format workload for the data storage, warehouse and lakehouse. If there is no code or pro code, how do you want to develop? Using Spark, Transact SQL. So if you are going to use the Spark, use Lakehouse. If you are going to use the Transact SQL, use Warehouse. Warehousing need, so you have to store the data. So in that case, do you need the multi-table transactions? If yes, go for the warehouse. If no, go for the Lakehouse. Then data complexity, what type of data you are analyzing? If you don't know, go for the Lakehouse. If you know unstructured and structured data, go for the Lakehouse. Only structured data can be stored in the warehouse. Right. So this is where you can do the comparison of Lakehouse versus warehouse. So Lakehouse is a good choice for all your needs. As per our discussion. Now, in Microsoft Fabric, how you can create a Lakehouse, right? Okay. So if I come to Microsoft Fabric, just consider that I have a Fabric capacity. Since this is my trial version, I can create a workspaces with the capacity. Okay. So if I go, let me create a new workspace for you. So if you come here, then come to the workspaces, then select new workspace. And since Microsoft Fabric capacity is enabled, when if I create the workspace, that will be a Fabric workspace. Okay. So I will say MS Fabric. Okay. This is my new workspace name I'm going to create. Domain and all, nothing is required to select because this is on the Power service. Okay. If you have anything, you can select. So this is a trial and the license mode. You can see trial is here. I'm selecting because if I don't select this, I won't be able to create lake house and all these features I want, fabric features I won't be able to use. So use this trial. If you have fabric license, you can select the particular license mode. So trial I have selected. Here you can define whether it is for the small or large semantic model. So I'll say it is for the small semantic model. I have created a workspace based on license mode. Here you can see the diamond icon. Right. So this is nothing but this is the indication that your workspace is a fabric workspace. Inside your workspace, what you can do is you can create a different fabric items. Okay, let's go and select first what we need. Okay, we can bring the data from any sources. Our data may be sitting in any kind of databases, in any kind of cloud. You have to bring the data into the lake house or warehouse. So what we will do, we will create lake house. Okay. So here, if you click on this, all these items are only visible to the person who has fabric workspace capacity. Okay. So if I go down, okay, there is lots of things you can create if you have fabric as license. Okay. If I say lake house, I will select this. What is the purpose of big data engineering? Use this. Okay. And I will say test lake house, or I may select the another. Okay. So sales lake house. I'll create this. Okay. Sales underscore lake house. I don't want to select this public preview, lake house schemas and all. So schemas let you to manage preference object in your lake house more easily. So that is fine. I don't want to manage. I don't want to use that. I have created a lake house, and this is a lake house explorer. So here you can see that as we have discussed that you can store the files, you can store the tables in the lake house. It will automatically create the SQL endpoint. Okay, it is still under the process. So if I go here, okay, here you can see that default semantic model. Meaning, if you load the data, insert the data into the tables in the table format, so that will be added to this default semantic model. Then sales lakehouse. This is your a warehouse. Automatically, we will see lakehouse combine the features of both Delta Lake and warehouse. So everything will be available in this single look. Okay. So we know how to create lake house in fabric. Similarly, what we will do is we will create a warehouse also. Right. So we have to see this how we can create a warehouse. Similarly, just select the warehouse from the new item and then give the name. I will say sales. Okay, good. So this is sales warehouse. So here I will add underscore. Okay, and I will say create. I have created a warehouse also. So in lake house, if I go and open the fabric here, so here you can see that this is the explorer for your warehouse. We will open the explorer for our lake house also. Go to the workspace and open the. Okay, good. So here in lakehouse you can see that in this will be like your database. Okay, so this is the name of database. If you are querying the data, we will see how we can connect with the lakehouse and all. You can have the tables and files in the lakehouse, but you can have only tables, data which is in a structured format, data which is in the structured format in warehouse. So this is the difference between these two. Okay. So here in both you can use, okay, not new semantic model, we will see that later. So in Lakehouse, you can use upload file, you can create new data pipeline, you can use a data flow. Okay, you want new shortcut, you can create a new, you want stream, you can create for the real-time analytics. In warehouse, you can get the data using data flow pipeline, you can sample data by using transact SQL command you can use, obviously, and SQL database project you can load. Okay, so from the gate data you can use, right? So this is how we can create lake house and warehouse. So I hope you like the content of this video. Thank you so much for watching the video. In next video, we will see how we can load the data into the warehouse, how we can get the data into the lake house. So to learn more on the fabric, to learn more on the data analytics sites, please do not forget to subscribe to webcam. Have a nice day.